If you need to see, you better get them.
Anita, your favorite diva, and I'm back. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let the diva know you stopped by. Make sure you subscribe if you like the vibe. If this is your first time here, welcome and welcome back, Diva Squad. So I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It knew what it was and it delivered just that. I'm doing a trailer reaction. Leon on Nita the Divas channel.
Hey, you guys. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? It is your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I am back with another video. We are actually getting ready to give you guys some grown woman commentary on this AD and Ashley blamed black women. This is from Love is Blind. Y'all know that we have covered this on our channel. I got my girls with me. Y'all go ahead and say hello in the chat to Miss Kira and Shayna MacD. Hey y'all.
Everybody. Hey,
Hey,
ladies.
What is
hey.
up? Is up? Hey Debbie. We're gonna wait for y'all to come get into the building. Not too long. We're just gonna talk. We're just gonna everybody has already seen the video, but we are going to recap the video and listen and react to the video. And so what I want to do, I want while we're listening, I want this like, if you got something to say, I'll stop it. We'll talk. If I have something to say, I'm just gonna automatically stop. But but that's just how
We'll
it's gonna
see.
go. That'll be the best way to try to tackle this or whatever. I don't want it to be an echo, so I kind of want us to go mute while the video is playing because I don't know how it's gonna give feedback to the people.
Okay.
So yeah, so if we can go mute while we listen to it. But y'all, first off, what I want to say is yeah, no. This was not a good look for Ashley. First of all, you're not fully divorced. You're not even divorced yet. Oh, hold on, Miss Kara, let me bring you back up. You're not fully divorced. I don't feel like you should be speaking at this time, and you didn't give us any new information. So that's where I am with it. Ladies, tell me how you feel about it. Like overall, we'll get into the nooks and crannies of it all, but at the same time, just give me your overall impression. I'm tired.
I it was what I thought it was gonna be. Ashley, she the smartest person in the room, which aggravates my nerves. She doesn't want to take any accountability. He did it, she didn't do it, and I was over it.
Right.
Hey, Debbie. Hey, chat.
And
Me, I
hey,
just feel like AD coming unprepared, claiming that she didn't watch anything, she didn't research anything. You have no business conducting an interview if you haven't done any thorough research. They're talking about
exactly.
not being journalists. Even though AD's running a podcast, you shouldn't interview anybody without doing any type of research. So I feel like she did, and she just wanted to, throw shade. They wanted to sit up there and be friends. This is not time to be for friendship. This is time for an interview.
Exactly. And like I said, I don't feel like we got any new information. So what was this? Like, is this some kind of, how some people try to stay relevant? Like, it's almost like rage baiting, like almost like, this was like a triggering topic. Like, this was like a hot topic for a lot of people. This was a hot story. And I feel like everybody was like grabbing onto it or whatever. And it feels like it's an attempt, like either AD's show that she met Ollie on is getting ready to premiere and they're trying to blow up her platform or do some things. It feels like a PR stunt. Does
Yeah.
does that feel
Usually perfect match comes on around June, so it could be that.
exactly? That's
I'm not
that's what
I
it
didn't
feels like.
haven't checked the date, but I think last year was in June, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
and
I
they're
don't watch
engaged and
Perfect
everything.
Match.
So
I don't
oh,
watch I
okay.
don't I don't watch Married at First Sight, Perfect Match. Love is Blind is the only one that I really got into. I tried to dip my toe into Ready for
Ready to
Love or
Love.
something like that.
Yeah.
And then also no, but I do watch the Never Ever Mets. So I do watch that. So
That's
just
a good
a little
one.
yeah, a little quick disclaimer. And I will say, because don't nobody know my commentary on it, season 2 is better than season 1. So
Okay,
anyway.
period. Yeah. The old cast hating on the new cast, arguing like it's better. It is what it is.
Yes, it's much more entertaining. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into some things. We're gonna go ahead and listen to the podcast. Y'all not gonna see the podcast. We are going to listen to the podcast. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and we'll start off by showing it real quick so you can see the vibe. It looks production. It looks very Love Is Blind-esque. It looks look. It doesn't look like AD. It looks Love Is Blind. So let's go ahead and get into it. It's sped up just a little bit, and like I said,
Yeah.
tag me in, Coach. I'm gonna tag you in, and we're gonna do it like that. All right. All right. So everybody, we're gonna go on mute.
Up on you,
Yeah.
on everything that you've been up to since I last saw you.
So, well, filing for divorce now.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, same. But in the same breath, it's a good thing I've been counting the days. Yeah, I think like the last few months, it's just been a lot of healing,
Yeah.
a lot of emotional fluctuations. I would love to say it's been sunshine and rainbows because I think sometimes when we know we're doing the right thing, you think it should be easy. It doesn't make it any easier. And so, yeah, I've just been healing, but also like I'm getting to this stage where I'm reaching the 6-month mark of this divorce. And I've been kind of taking back the power of the word divorce because anyone who knows me knows it's something I never wanted to do ever. And so I'm changing it from a negative connotation to feeling more liberated and excited for this new beginning. And, I took some time to myself before I even wanted to do a sit down because I wanted to reflect. I wanted to take time to reflect. And so, also given all of the social media vitriol, I was somewhat terrified to be
Say
vulnerable
anything,
and say
yeah.
anything for fear of it being picked apart and being another tagline after things have kind of calmed down. But then I was like, if I can speak so boldly for a man, I damn sure
Can speak
can
up for
speak up for
yourself.
myself. And frankly, I had to change the way I was thinking about things over the last 4 months when I was thinking about how it
This is a lot. This is a lot for me to stop it, move to the screen, move to the other screen. I'm sorry, y'all. But for me, I had to stop it because the fact that she said she spoke so boldly for a man who told you, not in the pods, but in the experience, you were still in the Love is Blind experience and you hadn't said yes to him. And he revealed to you, this is very pertinent knowledge that you need to know, that he revealed to you before you said I do that he has other children, that he has children. And I think that that's very, very important to note because everything that she says after that point feels irrelevant to me. Like, look, what is the pod experience? Maybe 2 or 3 weeks? Like, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
yeah, you knew this man. This was a fake marriage. And the way she keeps trying to portray it like it's a real marriage and oh, you would stand by your man and that. Girl, miss me with that. You don't got that history, right?
Right.
Am I off with that? Like, I'm like,
Nobody forced you to even say yes. Like you didn't have to get married.
exactly. So I'm just sitting up here like, where are you coming from with this whole like, oh, well, she's like mapping it out. Like, this is the first thing that really just kind of triggered me. I was like, girl, no. Okay, y'all y'all didn't even know each other for real. Y'all didn't.
I would say the first trigger for me was when she said, she felt like she was a part of the Secret Wives Club, and it's so evident that
Right.
you wanted
Get
to
there yet.
like you just wanted to be married just to say that you were married. I think a lot of people get that they get divorced just to be like, well, I was a wife, you weren't, for some bragging rights that nobody cares about.
Nobody.
And she also said people treat married women different in business. Is that what she said? Something right after she said that.
And it's like, you're married to a bum. Girl, you gonna be married to a loser just for the sake of being married that you met on that embarrassed you on TV publicly? It's one thing to be embarrassed and your family know, your friends know, but when the whole world knows and you want to bragging rights, like the self-esteem, the bar is in hell.
Exactly.
She feels that way. She just holds that weight on marriage. Everybody doesn't feel that way. Like, I feel like, thank goodness I wasn't in that situation.
Exactly.
Because to find all of that out and still go to the altar is beyond me. But
yes, that's crazy. That's crazy work. But yeah, I just wanted y'all to know that she knew prior to going down the aisle. She knew that. And then she tries to posture it as if she didn't know later on in the interview. So let's just keep going.
You on the camera find out before you.
I know.
Stop.
And it was a reenacted scene. Like, that means you went through this conversation
and
twice.
then you're gonna say you like manipulated the conversation or something she said on a reunion. I
feel like she was in her 30s. She didn't want the opportunity of marriage to slip away. Just to
miss her.
Yeah.
I just know how to stop.
And I don't even understand. Do you see how beautiful that woman is, girl?
That's
when
the
I tell you, Ashley is
but when she starts talking,
girl, all we hear is bird.
Yikes!
I hate that for her.
Or if I even wanted to say anything, because I wanted to make sure I was doing this for me and not for anyone else. So yeah, the last 4 months has been a lot of reflection. And I've come to the realization that, people can say whatever and they can have whatever misconceptions they want about me. I think that this is for me to speak to my character, and anything outside of that, I can't be bothered with.
Heard. So how has it been kind of transitioning from being married in such a public facing way to now transitioning back into being single?
I will say, if I had to miss one thing about being married, which you'll know soon, longevity for you, but like I miss being a part of this like secret wives club. Like my friendships, like with women who are married, it was a little different because we had conversations that I now could understand. And so even I feel like professionally, people treat you differently slightly when you're married, you have kids. It's almost like you're an adult now.
Yeah.
So that transition has been different. But I'm someone who thrives single. I lock in and I do all the things. Like, whether it's professionally, whether it's working out, whatever it is, I'm happy single. I found how to be comfortable in my skin in my own presence a long time ago.
Yeah.
So the single life is, come on now.
It does hit a little bit different.
Well, and I feel like we always want what we're not in. Like, even my married friends are like, girl, like, you don't have no kids. You don't have to worry about this. But then when you are single, you're like, oh, my married friends. So I think that it's kind of like we always want what we don't have. But I mean, for me, I have a good time. So
I see you in the gym, traveling, you're outside, girls' nights.
Yes. So it hasn't been that transition hasn't been that hard for me, especially because we were only married for a year.
Yeah. I think that people want you to look sad and be down, and like people hate to see you trying to grow and heal. And like, so is that weird to like post like, oh, I'm out with my girls on social media, knowing that the world is like, how come she's not down and out?
So I took a little bit of a social media break because of that. I remember I posted out with a few of my girlfriends, just like laughing, like whatever. And someone wrote me, how dare you laugh? The kids.
Dare you be happy?
And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, this is like, it's months later at this point. So I still get a little bit of that. And you just have to kind of find a balance between like, this is my life. And if I run it dictated by you all, I will literally be committed.
Literally in a dungeon somewhere.
Literally. Yeah. So I had to kind of dismiss the opinions of the folk.
Right. Do you feel like you have like a nice support system around you? Like, have your people shown up for you?
My village.
Yeah.
My village goes crazy, girl. Yeah. Like my mom, my friends, they have been like my true anchors in all of this. Whether it's late night phone calls, FaceTimes at 1 a.m. because I have insomnia. So like, I'll ping them if I need to unpack something. And so, honestly, without them, this would have been way harder. Yeah. Not everybody has that, so I've been really grateful for that. Yeah.
Are you doing anything like in particular? I know you said you're like kind of working out and hanging out with some of your homegirls, but are you doing anything in particular that's like helping you get through this whole transition?
Yeah. I mean, besides falling on the floor crying out to Jesus, like, God, you know. But besides that, I started, actually Monica from my season got me a gratitude journal, and it's never been more impactful than it's been, you know, the last few months. It's just part of my daily routine where I just get up and just jotting down those 3 things seems so small, but it's so big because it keeps you focused on what's truly important and that there's always something to be grateful for, even in a tornado. So that has been helpful. And then the biggest thing has been they done pushed me to therapy, child.
I know that's
I never thought I would be in therapy, and not in a negative way. I've always been an advocate for it, but I've always been like well-adjusted, you know, contrary to belief.
My head is on my shoulders.
It's still there. That was uncharted territory for me. But even my therapist sometimes, which godsend for her, but like she'll just smile at me in some of our like meetings because like I am wise and I'm very self-aware, but she gives me different perspectives on things. And so the biggest thing we've been working on the last few months is forgiveness for myself, not even for him or anyone else, forgiveness for myself, because I'm just someone who like beats myself up when I make mistakes or, you know, do something out of the ordinary. And I'm like, I really don't need anyone else to do it. I'm my biggest critic.
I got it.
Yeah, trust me. So therapy, I think that everyone should go, especially with like large life transitions.
I love my therapist.
Girl.
I got therapy tomorrow, girl.
Yeah, I got it next week.
Listen, let's talk more LIB and just how we got here. Okay, rewind. How do you feel like the revelation of Tyler coming out with the whole children thing impacted, like in the beginning, all the way up until now, impacted your marriage?
It impacted the marriage immediately. Immediately, because now I have to question the person I'm laying next to. And I think that that's such a scary feeling to not know what's true, what's not true. And like, I remember, like I said, I have insomnia. It would be times I'm up at 2 a.m. and I would grab him like, hey, I got another question. Like, I need you to, you know, answer this. Of course, he had all the answers at the time.
Right.
But, you know, it kind of shifted everything about us. Like we, you know, there are marital things as well that, you know, were hardships for us, but like we got along really well. And so it was like, I no longer had that person. And even from the beginning, even when I was still trying to unpack what was true or just all of the things, it still created such a hole between us. And it's like I was being drugged on his behalf as well. So I had this sort of resentment towards him as well in our household. So it shifted everything, you know? And I think that, I mean, it was a time where I had a panic attack. You know, I had 2 panic attacks, but one of the worst ones where I was like in my living room and I went to the bathroom and he saw me. It was like 3 a.m. and he just like helped me. And I unfolded into his arms while, you know, trying to figure out if this man, like who he was. It was the most toxic.
Post-show airing?
Post-show airing.
Okay.
It's like it's like in the thick of it. It was in the thick of it. And so it literally shifted where we had an enjoyable home into such a toxic and just unhappy kind of situation, because he also was depressed as well. But, you know, he, you know, so it changed our entire dynamic. It definitely did. We just weren't us anymore. He is a pathological liar. And I was looking at this man like, who are you? And if we don't have the 2 biggest things in a marriage, which are trust and honesty, then what do we have?
Okay, let's like break this down for people that might not understand this like 5-part series sperm donor situation. What we saw and what was presented to us is that Tyler was a sperm donor to the children. And then reunion, that's all we know. And then post reunion, it comes out that he was the parent to the twins.
Yes.
Tell me about this 5-part series and what is the truth?
So let's go back a little, right? So when I find out that he's a sperm donor when we're filming, the only thing that he told me on and off camera was that he was a sperm donor, 0 complexity around it, right? He even went as far as to tell me like he hadn't seen them in a year or 2, like that the mother of the children had him blocked because she wanted to raise her children with her, you know, lesbian counterpart, who's now her fiance. And so all we knew, even at the reunion, was that he was a sperm donor. Case closed.
To all
3
children, yeah.
And then a little bit before the reunion aired, she came out with her 5-part video series where she was saying it was hard for her to come out about this, but now she's taking back the fact that she said they had never been intimate in any way, but that they actually had for the twins. So once she
Was it intimate in a relational way or in
I'm saying
this
intimate
is how
as far
we
as
made
like
the
intercourse.
kids?
Yeah, this is how we made the
But
kids. She
not
said
like
it was a
boyfriend,
one-time thing.
girlfriend.
No, she's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, like it was a one-time thing. I was embarrassed to, mention it. I can't remember her exact words, but she just goes through, like she's reading a paper and she just goes through like saying, he was a sperm donor for my son, but we had sex to conceive the twins.
Yeah.
And so this flips everything around because it's like one time she's saying, no, we never had sex, we never had intercourse. And he was saying the same thing. Now she's saying that they did, but only for half. And so, of course, he was.
Anyone has anything to say about that? About the conflicting stories and
Girl,
how
you know what the truth is. Please stop playing with us. And why would he have? Why would that lady have to block him to live her life with her kids? That don't even make no sense.
Right. And she's downplaying her situation. Like they were also living in the house together and cohabitating as a family. So it's like you knew what was going on. She just chose to believe what she wanted to believe. We can't.
She's just cherry picking certain things.
Yeah, just like you wanted to believe it. She didn't dig in. She didn't ask more questions ahead of time. She didn't do thorough research. If you're a sperm donor,
none of that.
I need to see some paperwork to see that this is legitimate sperm donation.
Exactly.
Now I can't remember if I watched the whole thing. Y'all don't watch the Vial Files. Y'all didn't see her when she was on the Vial Files. Basically saying if them kids want to contact him when they turn 18 and da 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 da, you're not gonna take that back, Ashley?
That.
You're not
I didn't
take
watch
that back?
Yeah. But I think I did see that clip. Yeah, I think I did see that.
You're not gonna take F them kids back?
I felt like that was trifling.
Yeah, I did see that clip. So I saw enough to know
I felt like it was trifling.
Right. And I just downplay it like she's just, I'm just a victim. I was so unaware. You didn't care about those kids. You didn't want them a part of your story or your life.
Girl, yes, you could tell just by the language that she used. Like, I was like, girl, what? I would never want to be around a man who doesn't want to take care of his children. Sperm donor, it's a little complicated. It gets a little complicated when you do that. Just go to the sperm bank. I don't understand.
Right.
I was gonna say if you do it that way, but not you coming over with a cup.
Exactly.
Yeah. She didn't ask any. Hey, shout out to everybody in the chat. She didn't go into any further details. It's like, oh well, that sounds good to me, because it just would have messed up her little narrative, and she was already in marriage.
Exactly.
And AD not asking hardly any questions, just letting her tell. We've heard her tell this already. We don't need to hear.
It's the same way Latavius did with their future wifey thing.
Yep. Same exact thing. No research, no accountability.
Exactly. No accountability. There was no accountability in this. Even though she felt like she wanted to take it, but I felt like that was for immature people. Like some immature people might like, oh well, yeah, she said something, and I'm like, girl, no, not really.
And it's taken her months to even come out and say this after she said F them kids. Like, I was more interested in what Jesse and Ricky had going on with the grandma and the neighbor and everybody else over these two.
Exactly.
And then it looked like they lined this up also with when she's actually able to, I guess, apply for the divorce, because I think that was either yesterday or today or something like that. So, child, she like it, I love it. She like it, I love it.
So you're seeing this post the reunion filming,
post after already filmed,
and now you're looking at him. He's looking at you.
Like,
how is he
sent me to the wolves?
Yeah, how is he back in the? What is he saying?
He's saying it's not true. He's saying nothing about it is true. He's even going as far as to say they never had sex at all. And so yeah.
Come on now.
He's standing on it. When I say standing on it, his mom, she's a lot, like everybody, his friends, everyone around me. I even tried to get his little niece by herself when I seen her.
Wasn't you, baby girl?
I was like, your cousins are here, like just to see if she was like my other cousin, or anything like that, just to see. No, he's standing on it.
Still to today.
Till today, he is standing on that he did not conceive the twins via sex. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. That I will say.
Yeah. Okay, so break down the 5 parts a little bit more, because I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch past the 2 seconds of it because I'm
Yeah.
like, this is taking it too far.
Yeah,
This is
agreed.
like Love is Blind After Dark. Like this
Yeah.
don't got shit to do with
It
me.
was
I don't
bad.
want to.
Yeah.
And it was everywhere. It was everywhere. So if you want to break it down a little bit, or however you feel comfortable telling us like what all, because you don't need 5 parts to say we had sex.
Yeah, I think she just went from the beginning of how, like, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't remember either, to be honest, I
Yeah.
trauma blocked that out.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, she started out just talking about their relationship, how he was her best friend, how he stepped in to help her with the son. Again, admirable. She was going through a divorce with her previous wife, and that he originally was just supposed to be a sperm donor, like / uncle for the son, but then allegedly one night, you know, I guess something happened between them, and it was a one-time thing where poof,
Abracadabra.
yep, poof,
Yeah.
twins.
Yeah.
And that, you know, she was basically taking back the fact that they had never had intercourse, and that, you know, she was hard for her to say this because she's always been, you know, she's a mask presenting lesbian. And so she's always been in a lesbian, you know, relationship.
Yeah.
And so she was just saying, like, this was difficult for her to come out and say, but this is what the truth is. And that she didn't like her kids being referred to as sperm donor children, which, by the way, I thought was the proper term.
Because that's what he said.
That's what he said.
Right.
And I didn't mean it in a derogatory way or to demean the children or anything. Like, I was even hoping, like, I hope that kids, you know, kids are cruel.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope no kids see this and are like teasing them in any way. It's nothing wrong with it at all. But I'm just saying, you know, and so.
So I'm mute. No, I was just, that lesbian part stuck out to me because she keeps like playing on that. Like, oh, the fact that she was lesbian, like that diminishes or changes anything. She was in a lesbian relationship. She's a lesbian. So what? He's still the father of those children. Like, and they still conceive those twins naturally. And the fact that she said before that her father was absentee and she's trying to justify and make excuses away for these children is still bothersome.
They both had the required body parts to make a baby. That's all they needed. Okay.
Hello?
Exactly.
Okay. Sexuality be damned.
Right. It's all that sexuality when they playing house, living in the same house, cohabitating, sleeping together.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster.
Baby, listen.
Yep.
So she didn't like the way that they were being referred to, and so she just wanted to come out and finally say her truth. It was a lengthy explanation. But needless to say, the end result was her saying he fathered the twins.
Did you actually ever get the truth from this man? Or did you get what you think was the truth?
I found it myself. I didn't get it from him. I found it myself. I found the truth myself, yes.
Okay. Is that something you want to share? What is the truth? Because I think...
You mean from TikTok?
I know I want to know. And I know there was a lot of lies spewed. There was a lot of omitting. What is the truth?
I want to be very careful with my words. And this man by no means deserves...
First of all, the fuck all, ma'am, you're not gonna play in my face. You can let Tyler play in your face as much as you want to, but you're not gonna play in my face. You're not gonna sit up here and say that you did not have the information. That's why when I stopped it at the 3-minute mark, when she said something about she didn't know, you sat up there outside of the pod, still on the Love is Blind experience, and said that he revealed to you that information. So you knew that information and you knew that he had lied to you from the pods. So you cannot sit up here and try to say that you didn't know and you didn't have all the information. And yeah, I do know that a part of the experience is people revealing things to the internet and things are happening and you may not be privy to them. But ma'am, you were in this marriage. And let me first have a disclaimer. Like, I'm not trying to kick her when she's down. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she's already been humiliated and she's already been you know how the internet does. Like, I felt like she's been beat up on at the same time. But at the same time, if you're not taking any accountability or responsibility for the information that was out there and you're still protecting him and you're still saying things that is like trying to protect him and all of these things, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand that mind frame that I don't understand what she's doing. Like
I
she's
think a
coming.
lot of us were on her side until she said it with her chest and put her cape on, and everybody was like, "Oh, never mind. I see what type of time you want."
Right. He's no longer
Exactly.
getting grace from me. I don't care about no kicking you while you down. We're past that. When you say
Right.
And Nita,
kids, girl, it's F you and that. I don't care. We're past that because you're a grown woman. You found this information. Finding it means you knew nothing about it and you stumbled upon it. You went searching for the information to get confirmation on what you already knew.
Absolutely.
and Nita, I think you mentioned it when we were actually recapping the show, because it's one thing to reveal certain things later on, but all of these things should have been revealed in the pods. There's no reason for you to wait. But this is where I was saying, you were saying that he wanted to get her to fall first before he gave her that information, and I have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
give me
Right.
the vitals. You can give me like little small stuff later, but I need all the kids. That's like,
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's still the
Exactly.
villain at the end of the day. But they didn't even touch on him saying she's not my type and all that stuff.
nope.
What was y'all MO? Y'all thought at the end of this you were going to have endorsement deals and it was going to branch off and be a whole something. And the people ain't feeling it.
No,
Nobody cared.
absolutely
So that's why
not.
you get divorced.
Right. And
And
that's
if
why
he
they're
was
getting the
simply just a
divorce.
sperm donor, I think he would have been more upfront about that. That's like why,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if it was
Yeah, you
that,
make
that's
that
easy to
secret.
say.
If he was just
Exactly.
a sperm donor, there would be nothing to say because he wouldn't know who these children are or if he even had children out there.
That part. That part. When you cross a threshold where you're procreating with a good friend of yours, it blurs the lines. So I just say don't do it. Don't do it unless you really are fully committed to not doing it. But like I
Usually when
said,
people do
I feel like
sign
he's
those
a
kinds of
homosexual.
contracts,
He a homosexual. He
Yes.
ain't got nowhere to live. He ain't got no stable employment. And I feel like that's half the reason why Ashley dropped his ass. Because
Yeah.
we hear later on in the interview, she was talking about, I take the lead. I'm taking the lead. And I'm like, girl, you got a whole man there. You taking the lead in your marriage, and they supposed to be the leaders and the protectors and the providers.
Exactly.
That's what they
When
supposed to
she
be.
got divorced, he had to sleep on her couch. Okay, Dusty, bum. Yes, a homosexual for
Girl,
sure.
the must.
But it's like,
The
girl, you didn't care
dust
about
must.
none of that. Like, you was fine with him being not working, jobs a little janky. If we take the kids aside, he's not stable. You came on here on a show for ulterior motives because you thought this was going to be some kind of come up and it was going to put you on some path to get income. He saw he's an opportunist. She's a come up for him.
Yeah.
But she deserves him. Like, look, this is what you showed us. This is who you are.
Right.
What you deserve.
Right. When I tell you that when I started withdrawing my empathy from her, like I can't have sympathy and empathy for you when I feel like your eyes was wide open and now she's sitting up here feel like she's trying to do some corrective stuff and it still feels like she's doubling down to me. I don't know how it feels to you, but it feels like she's still doubling down to me. Like, how am I supposed to feel sorry for that? I don't feel sorry for that because at the end of the day, let's go ahead and get to the 42-minute mark. I don't feel like hearing all
she
this
was,
bullshit.
I was
I
I
gonna
feel
say,
like
she was very arrogant in this interview.
yes,
I
so
was
very
like,
prideful. Like,
backhanded.
put your pride aside. Like, you gotta get to a point that the only way that you can really truly heal is to put your pride aside. You have to do that. I'm sorry, I don't know no other way to do it. People say they healing and they doing all the things, but no, you can't like keep yourself on this pedestal and not
mm-mm.
see yourself for the part that you played in the scenario. No, babes, that's not how this
Right.
works.
She's never gonna get to where she needs to be because she won't just humble to herself and apologize.
Exactly.
Then maybe she
And
will
I
have
don't want to.
some supporters, not me, but maybe she would have
Not
some
me.
supporters if she would humble herself and
No.
apologize and admit to the mistakes that she's made. But she's like,
She's too
Exactly.
far gone now, and she knows it. She looked back at everything she did, and she still was going on some kind of campaign. He wasn't going on no interview saying nothing until he wanted to do Dear Future Wife podcast. You doing all this talking for him, talking about you
Right.
protecting him. Y'all out of order. this is what
I hate a woman that speaks for a man. Let them
Right.
hold their own balls. Like, no, I'm not doing it.
How you speaking on a situation that you weren't a part of? You weren't there when that was going on. You have no business speaking on that or to that. I would appreciate it more if she was just quiet and was like, I fell in love with him and she was just quiet about it. Like, you way too vocal, too loud, and get mad at me. Why y'all all in my business? You signed up for this when you signed up for reality TV.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, we about to get back into the.
Oh, you said the 42 mark.
Okay.
Why are we so passionate about other people's business like that to the point where it needs to be hurtful? Like, there's so many things that I saw. I was like, how's this helpful?
It was the most dehumanizing experience of my life.
How is this helpful?
It wasn't. And how does this help the kids? Because honestly, the more information that came out, the sadder I felt for the children for when they get to Google. Do you know what I mean? And if we're talking about heart here and we're talking about actually caring, that's sad. And I think there could have been a way to go about this. Even the women who were saying, we're just doing this because we wanted more for you. Like, especially women of color. We want, don't y'all think I wanted a win for us? Don't you think?
What I say to you at the reunion?
Listen, sure did. A win is a win. A win is a win. That's why I'm happy for you, girl, because look, you win, we win, I win, we all win, right?
Yeah.
And I wore the culture on my back when I was filming. I made sure I didn't act ignorant. I made sure I represented myself classy, educated, all of the.
So what does she think a win is? Is a win just having a man? Not a good man, but just
any
man.
old man will do.
What does she mean?
Any old black man will do, because that's
I'm so confused.
Even though his preference isn't black women, but she's so male identified. A pick me. And she was a bird on her season, thirsty. Two pick me is sitting together. It's just not.
Sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I hope y'all don't hear all that feedback.
Not yet.
No. Y'all can talk. I just couldn't talk because I ain't know if y'all heard the feedback.
You good.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I
don't know what she talking about. She
carrying the culture
on her back. Girl, I don't even want you to carry nothing for me as a black woman because, girl, no.
You represent us. Hey, Tamika.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Toucan Sam. No, I'm not doing it. Let's not. I don't want to do that. And the whole thing, like, and I feel like she has like this, because a lot of people have that church background. And the thing is about the church, you need to secure a man. You ain't nothing with a man. You got to make the man feel like he a man and all this stuff. Like, I feel like that is what she is. Like, it's like a dog whistle to those people. There are a lot of women that do think like that. But I feel like a lot of women are waking up. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, there's still a lot of women that
already experienced it, and they were like, "Oh no, that shit ain't for me."
There's still a lot of male-centered or people that pedestalize marriage and those type of things, and it's like
right, because there's nothing wrong with wanting to be married, but it's like you don't care if it's a happy marriage, a healthy marriage, and nothing. Like I said, just a man. There's a man in the house. My man, my man, my man. I think the fact that she didn't have her father around, she feels like, oh, I need to be married. I need to, like, he don't be just as dusty as your daddy was, is what she claimed.
That's what I was about to say. Her father just is no good as anybody that she's gonna pick in life. So, just saying.
And she better be glad she walked away unscathed and child-free.
Listen, because they had that one picture of her carrying on, and I thought she was
I thought she was
pregnant. I was like, oh man, girl.
Oh my God, I hope not.
Well, clearly she's not. This was a little while back, after the reunion, somewhere in that area, and I was like,
she said, "Look, I ain't that foolish now."
She said she had ate some burgers or something, child, but she was rubbing on her belly, and I was like,
girl.
All over the internet. So I was
that would be tragic. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you, if you can escape from a man child free, that is the best situation you can
Run, Forrest,
ever
run.
be in,
Right.
baby. What I want all of y'all ladies to do, be child free up in this. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get back into it because this when she start dragging black women, she's about to start. It's not just the people who have the loud voices on the internet, but there are
Ooh.
also too. She tried to put like other people who are trying to hold her accountable. Like y'all, for the life of me, like I don't understand why people think when you try to hold someone accountable, they think you don't love them, you're not rooting for them. Like I'm not a yes man. I'm not that person. Like I might be that person because I try to give you passes, let you learn your lessons on your own and all that stuff or whatever. But when I see that you're not learning a lesson, and then if I step in and say something, and then you be like not taking the lesson, and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna step back. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't do more for somebody than they want to do for themselves. And that is where most black women found themselves in this space because she kept doubling down and she's still doubling down on protecting Tyler and doing all the things or whatever, and still not holding herself accountable. She said she needed to forgive herself. Yes, you do, but forgive yourself for what? Did you really acknowledge what you did? Like, did you have some self-reflection? Because
I think she thinks she did.
she's pushing it off though. It's like she's sweeping it underneath the rug like it didn't happen. Like these black women are talking about her and all this other
Right.
stuff. I'm like, girl, what are you
But
talking
not
about?
acknowledging that they weren't. They up until the reunion, everybody was on her side. Jesse was on her side to it for when
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
Jesse,
the part she's
please,
missing.
girl, like she been
I
up
was, I was too, though. Like until we got to the reunion, I thought that she wasn't aware of the full scenario. You know what I'm saying? So I
Once
did
we
think
got
that she was a
there,
victim, but she was less of a victim than we. You know what I'm saying? Like
even after the reunion, some people until she started doing interviews, and then people were waiting. I mean, they waited till like the very end where it was like, you can't deny anymore.
baby,
Like
once
you
she said, "You
can't.
think you know more than me," I was like, "Ooh, girl, never mind. You got it."
Yeah, you up
At
here
the
talking about
reunion, you
y'all
got it.
don't know, y'all never been married. You've been with this person for 2 weeks, and you
I
talking
said,
about
"You've
you
never been
person
married and
calling
it
it loud and wrong.
stayed."
Like that's
Yes.
not true. Some of us have, and we're saying like, hey, this is not what you want to do. But if that's what you think you
Exactly.
want to do, I applaud the women who have enough sense to walk away before you get entangled in this mess and you have to divorce to get out of it.
That part. That part. That's the part right there. That's exactly what it is.
I'm like, she thinks she above because she went down and walked down the aisle. Now she feels like she's above most women, and
I
absolutely.
don't
That's the part.
I don't think
That's
she
it
should have
right
ever got
there.
married, but I also hate the way that Netflix handles it where they can't get an annulment. Like by the time they want to, like it's too late. You
Yeah.
have to actually get a divorce. Because I'd be like, never mind, forget
Right.
it. But
It never
I
happened.
wouldn't have said I do. I'd have
Never
been like,
Girl, so fast.
can we just move in together and figure it out for a little while?
So
At least this
fast,
is better than
girl.
Married at First Sight because Married at First Sight does the same thing, and you got to walk up in it married. Like I don't even hello, hi,
Mm,
you
mm.
already married.
Oh,
You
girl,
got
no,
time
I'm
to
not
walk
doing
away
that.
from this. She signed up for this willingly, and I don't think she would have even wanted to get it annulled because she wants to have on her record that she wants
That
it on
she's
her record
married.
that she was married.
Girl,
I don't know
do
why. I
do
wouldn't
do
want to say
what
I
I
was married
did. I
again.
got the cup, I got the t-shirt, I got the
Right.
and I don't think I'm doing it again. I might. I mean, I got a good partner, but I might, but for the
Yeah, I
right
definitely want to do
reasons.
it
Not
again.
just because to say
I
I
wouldn't
got
tolerate this though. This is crazy.
yeah, no.
Like my goodness.
Right. That's a whole different story.
The things, and that was dismissed because of a man,
Mhm.
which I hate that was what tainted
Your image.
my image.
Yeah.
If it's me, cool.
Yeah.
You don't like me for you did not like me for me.
Right.
You didn't like me because of my counterpart. So yeah, when it came to the social media stuff, it was so dark. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my actual life. And the saddest part about it, AD, is that they would say the most evil things, wish things on my unborn children, and they would go eat, marry, go to sleep, snore, and
Mhm.
I would be up at night
Sick.
for months.
Yeah.
For months. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Thank you for the weight loss.
Mhm.
But that's about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was, and again, they didn't even know what they were doing,
Mhm.
because as you guys were dragging me, the only person on the planet who understood what I was going through was the person who was doing it to
Mhm,
me. So then comes that trauma bond
Mhm.
between us, because I'm letting this man hold me and he's actually
Causing-
essentially my
yeah,
captor.
Right.
What I also want to talk about is, let's say those who did think that they were trying to help me or we wanted better for you. It's the delivery.
Mhm.
You guys can't think that you could berate someone like that on a daily and then say, well, we just wanted
We
better.
tried to tell
Would
you.
you talk to your sister like that, your friend like that? No, you
Yeah.
would not.
You know what's sickening is the show. By the time the show came out, it was a year already had
year.
passed. So people are yelling, screaming at the TV, talking about, we're trying to save you.
Yeah.
Girl,
Don't
I'm
do
already
it.
in it.
Girl,
I'm married.
talk
You're
about
not
Donnie
helping
out.
me.
Ma'am, what are you talking about?
That was the part that I was like, would you talk to your friends like that? Yes, I would actually.
Yes. If you love them, if you had any care for them, girl, you tripping.
Are we friends if I can't be like, hey, I mean, you still gonna make the stupid decision you want to make regardless, but I wouldn't be able to sleep peacefully if I wasn't like, hey.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I feel like the people try to tell you nicely, but you was hard-headed. Like, I don't.
I didn't really hear anybody say it. The delivery, who said it rough?
Right.
She deserved
Girl, what are
she
you talking about?
They were laying out the information. The only time when they turned on her is when she doubled down afterwards. That was it.
Yeah.
And then you still want to, like, girl, don't portion me in this situation. Shout out to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't portion me in this bullshit. I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
And like I said, just like a teenager, just like a person that think they know it all or whatever, some people do not learn. They gotta go through it. They think they better. They think
Mm-hmm.
the Aquafina. I don't know exactly what it is, but they be acting real crazy. And
I feel like maybe she needed a rougher delivery so she could wake up sooner.
Exactly. And like
A
at
little
this
shake.
point in my life, when I'm getting a little like older in my life, like I'm not fighting that hard for you. Like I know I know I've seen this road and how it plays out. So once I get an inkling of what you're doing, yeah, I'm gonna be that person. Girl, I'm trying. Girl, the arsenic is over there. The rat poison is over. Girl, listen.
Well, I want to read this comment in the chat. I was in the chat. Thanks for subscribing to the ladies, Debbie. Lisa had a good comment. I don't know if you can see it. Neither.
Oh, let me see it. Okay.
Yes, Lord, exactly. But man with us.
Right. She was living a whole lie because it was exposed on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So all the other stuff that people were laying out for you was just added to it. And then she act like she doing all this investigative work. She was on the Jasmine brand, or she was on somebody posted on the blog talking about, do y'all think y'all know more than what I know? Girl, that nigga is a pathological liar. What are you talking about?
I think the baby mama does no more. She was there.
Right.
Okay.
Are you
Talk about she pulled a little niece or something to the side, trying to see, ma'am, get away from that little girl. We don't want you near nobody's children.
Nobody from his family at all, because they are his family.
His family.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because you see, they don't have. How can y'all abandon these kids as well? They coming over your house on the weekends, calling you grandma, and y'all kick them to the curb. They not to be trusted. They calling him. He wearing a dad T-shirt, and then all of a sudden, she up there talking about some
Christmas pictures.
Yeah, like she didn't know she had to find this information out. All this stuff. He was like, listen, you weren't betting on the baby mama and her mama and they friends and they sisters and they cousins and the ex-wife. You didn't think all these people was gonna come out and start speaking on it.
Exactly.
That's where she got messed up. She thought a year later nobody was gonna say nothing. We was gonna believe the sperm donor story. It was gonna be another Lauren.
Happily ever after.
We will never have Lauren and Cameron again, and this surely ain't it.
Mm-mm.
Hey, Brandy. Hey,
Brett and Tiffany is about the closest I would give, because they be over there minding their business. Okay, that's it.
Yes, we're gonna get into it, Brandy. We're talking about how when Black women who have commentary on a show, mind you, let's not say that we're just talking about her because we heard something. You're on a reality show. Okay? That part. You're on a reality show. We're watching said story play out, and you think that we're not going to have an opinion. And
Right.
if people are sitting up here trying to tell you and warn you and give you the facts and do the things, fact girl, I'm about to start the Salt Lake City wives. I was about to say facts. No, I'm telling you, what I'm trying to say is like you don't get to sign up for reality TV and say that you don't want to be commentated on, because that's the point. That's the whole point of being on reality TV. You got reviewers, you got people talking about the show, you're on TV, you're a public figure.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's talking about her takedown. And Black women was sitting up there trying to warn her. She didn't have any discernment on her own self in her own life. This was a decision that affected her
Mm-hmm.
initially. So I feel like you should have been the very person that was more invested in trying to find the truth. And when the truth keeps being presented, you keep putting blinders on your eyes like I can't see.
Mhm.
I don't know what's going on.
Right. I know ignorance is bliss, but come on. And she's sitting up here talking about they wanted to take me down. They was praying on my downfall. What do we gain out of that? We don't get nothing out of that. We actually we can root for. But you got to take the good with the bad. If we were only saying good things, she wouldn't say, hey, get out of my business while I'm happy. So don't be saying nothing now.
Yes. And we had her and AD back.
Yeah,
when AD had that bad season that she had, we had her and we had Ashley back until we couldn't. And now I don't have AD or Ashley's back because y'all both pick me.
They should have kept this. We really didn't need it. All it did was refresh our memory.
It didn't help.
Oh yeah.
It didn't help. I don't know. I don't know what the agenda was, but it didn't help.
AD sitting there just monotone, not asking no questions. Ashley just, exactly.
It didn't help.
Know anything? Yes, you did. When you found out, you still didn't do anything about it, and we can't make you leave. But you can be quiet. I mean, if you want to be a dummy, be dumb quietly though. Like, don't be all boisterous about it and mad because we don't agree.
Right. And so we're going to go ahead and listen to the rest of hers. I think it's 2 more minutes, but we're going to jump on over to Jessie Woo because she was talking about Jessie Woo, but she didn't at her, and which I call bullshit. Don't do that. Like I don't, if you don't at me, I don't answer you.
Yeah, if it ain't directed, don't respect it. Say it loudly.
If it don't fly, if it don't apply, let it fly. That's what it is. Now you grow you some list, and then we'll have a conversation. Other than that, we're not doing it. But we're gonna go ahead and listen to this last 2 minutes because they was like low key trying to drag, and we're gonna listen to the response. Because girl, when I tell you Jessie Woo had time today, hello, she did.
Late, and it's so weird that people can't like calculate a timeline to save their lives. Well, we tried to tell you not to marry him. When?
Yeah.
When I was filming a year ago, you were trying to what am I to do now?
Yeah.
And how is this helpful? I think that we have such a battle with, again, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to tell you.
Girl, when you got engaged, I went to your page and commented or something. I got attacked in your comments. I'm like, bro, all I'm saying is congrats. Like, and they're like, oh, or no, it was another post when I commented on Marissa and Alex's video about it coming from the inside. This doesn't refer to you.
This one's not for you.
How ain't it?
This one's not for you.
I think that I could speak to it the most.
Come on.
Right?
Come on.
So they're like, oh, you don't get to do you stood by a deadbeat and did.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's on me.
Yeah.
I gotta hold that.
Yeah.
Not you.
Right.
I have to do the forgiveness from the inside.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know that. But I think that, again, if the people, for the ones who really are like, girl, we were just so disappointed in you. Cool. But you really don't know me. You guys think you do because you watch a show. You don't know me. I've made great decisions for 32 years before that show had aired. You know what I mean? But they don't know that. And so they crucify me for a blip in time.
Mhm.
And I think that the biggest thing is because I was so loud and so bold when I was speaking on behalf, but that's the way I love. I can't help it. Like,
That for me was like really sad because
Yeah.
I just know as women and as Black women, and this is something that I have just said on repeat and repeat and repeat on this couch, but like the way we protect these men, and it's just like like I can see it in my head. You just like some of the things that you were saying, like some of y'all never been married and it shows. Like you want to protect yourself, you want to protect your man, and he just got quieter and quivered in the corner.
And so even I'm glad you said that because even in that statement, they were like, oh, look who's single now. Like you said, some of us haven't been married and it shows, but it's like, go back to that interview when I said that. What I meant by that was some of y'all haven't been married and it shows because you're expecting me to just up and bounce immediately. But if it was your real marriage, non-show related, that is not what you would do. You would
I just said the lies,
y'all calling bullshit on that or what?
The lies, girl, please.
If it was our real marriage, we wouldn't even be. It wouldn't have been no marriage. There wouldn't have been nothing to discuss once I found this out.
Okay,
exactly. That is crazy.
Talk behind the wall. Yeah, if it was our real marriage, we probably would have time to get to know him.
Brandy. She's saying what she needs to say to make herself feel better.
Girl,
and that's not how you heal. That's how you go head first into another bad situation. You cannot do that. Like they like whatever you gotta say to yourself to make you sleep better. But girl, I'm telling you, you are about to get steamrolled in the next one. Cause girl, you on a big platform and you don't think the next sucker is over there sitting up there watching.
Right. Hey, Lars. Yeah, because she did make comments at the end, like when she said her DMs was open. And talking about, as hard as it may seem, I don't tolerate BS. I can't tell. You just let everybody know that you do. So watch another one come until you learn a lesson.
Girl, what I say? Sorrows and prayers. Shout out to Bridgerton, girl. I can't do it.
Wrong road, baby. Wrong road.
Wrong road. Hey, Lawrence.
I don't like to be embarrassed in private, and you just getting up on you.
Right.
Girl.
We almost forgot about it.
Time after time.
We moved on. We weren't thinking about these people. Like y'all came out here and did this
harassing us
about you.
Yeah, I feel like AD set Ashley up.
It was Netflix producers.
Exactly. AD knew that she was going to get the attention on her podcast because, girl, I ain't know shit about this damn podcast. I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay. It's only been out a couple.
I heard about it.
It's only been out a couple months.
And I feel like, okay, y'all both being, working on Netflix and being on the same platform. Okay, I knew she wasn't going to really like grill her, but it's like you didn't hold her feet to the fire at all. Like you barely asked any questions, and I didn't know anything. I didn't do no research. They should have looked at this and said, you know what, we ain't gonna put this out,
right? Because it didn't accomplish anything, but y'all know that they use our rage bait as currency. Like if people talking about it, you know what I'm saying? Like they do that. That is a strategy. That's a planned strategy. Let's say something that's gonna get Black women riled up, and they're gonna talk about it. And then you're going to get noticed. And then, eyes are on you. Like, this is an age-old play.
After that last season didn't have no melanin on it whatsoever, they said, let's really black it up now. Listen, this is not...
Yeah, because I think she got this... The podcast been like 3 months. I think she got this like right around the whole time that they did the reunion and then the engagement announcement. The podcast was all in like... all wrapped up together. That's how I knew she had the podcast, and she had been doing like Micah and some of the previous people from other seasons, and then she did one with Ali because that one I still haven't watched because they're engaged. But yeah.
See, and then it's like, what is it? The perfect match didn't even come out yet. We can't even root for AD because now we're annoyed because she did this. Like this wasn't a good idea. It didn't give what it was.
It's not a good look for neither one of them.
Jesse sat there and dragged them to hell. It really ain't doing what they thought it was gonna do.
The unblendables, girl. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let me go ahead and switch. Because, girl, Ashley, I ain't got it to
She
give.
said,
I just ain't got it to give for you, girl. I don't know. Let's go ahead and talk about Jessie. Let's figure her out, girl. Because when I tell you, she had me cracking up.
If we weren't doing
said-
this, I wouldn't even watch that whole interview. I would have just watched what Jessie had to say.
yeah, I would have skipped directly to
Exactly.
Jessie.
Because
I just wanted to do my homework and be prepared.
yeah, because at the end of the day,
Earlier.
Jessie still put the clips in that she needed to address what was going on. So we probably should have just gave her the view instead of this girl here, child. This is a mess.
Sister, there were receipts.
Yeah.
And we just didn't care because we were too focused on Clay and Chris Colleen. And
Hold on. I don't even
Apologize
know
for what?
where I'm
She gave him one
going
of
with this.
She said, I apologize for anything I said against her that might have been true. But,
yes, yes,
but
Can y'all hear?
yes,
there are
I
a lot of
caught that.
complexities regarding the consumption of twins, like how they were conceived. Like
I caught that. I
Hold
caught that
on.
too. She literally still
Can y'all
has so
hear
much
it?
heat for
Yeah, we
Bride,
can hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and it's just so weird, which just lets you know, had the internet not found this out, Ashley would still be with Liler.
Yeah.
She would still be with that man.
Right.
This was never really about finding a husband. It was just about having the title.
Mhm.
She was just very desperate for that title. And no shade, so was AD. Now I haven't seen Perfect Match.
Mhm.
You know, none of us have seen Perfect Match,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't be surprised if we watched Perfect Match and AD was being the same pick me that she was on Love is Blind. Here's the thing, like I think what
I was gonna say that I had gotten some tea about Perfect Match and how it went down. Now I do believe the editing. They now that AD and Ollie are engaged, they can edit it to look however the hell they want. But
Mhm.
upon initial filming, I was told that that Ollie played in. Sorry, I have a dog here.
chat. Oh, she want to chat too.
Yeah, that Ollie played in AD's face and constantly picked girls over her and the entire show, and then like settled on her in the end. That's what I'm told. Now, how it's going to be edited and portrayed now that they're Kinetic and Netflix happy couple, I don't know, but that is what I was told, that he's going to play in her face the whole time, pick girls over her, and then ultimately settle on her.
I'm not gonna hold you. I have a contact who told me the same thing.
Oh,
the
okay.
only reason why I wasn't gonna talk about that is because I had Ollie on my platform. I've always liked Ollie. People hated Ollie from his season. I didn't. Folks kept saying he doesn't like Black women. I didn't side with that. When him and AD got engaged, I congratulated them. I left them comments. I think like 2 to 3 weeks ago, Ollie and I was exchanging DMs. Like, he saw something funny that my man did, and he was like, "Yo, your dude, like he's funny though. Like he's funny." He made a comment like that, and I was like, "Yeah, like he's a terrorist. Like we're cool." So
Yeah.
even like that's another reason why this shade, like Ashley, I can understand because Ashley, and we're gonna get more into Ashley, but the shade coming from AD was crazy to me because I'm just like, sister, I've never talked about you any different than I do any other contestant on this show. You were being a bird on your show, on your season.
Yeah.
But I always said, like, you deserve more. I always said, AD, you need to love yourself more. When those people were sexualizing AD's body, I said, no, this is racist. Like, I literally defended, like, I use my platform to talk about that constantly. When people were talking about her leave out and how crunchy it was, I never joined in that discussion. I'm gonna join it now.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna join it now.
Yeah,
But
same.
I never did that.
My commentary was very positive about AD. I think I might have said something about her eyelash, but it's like, I can't say nothing about your eyelash. Like, your eyelash was wonky. It was fucked up. It wasn't glued on right. Like, I can't say nothing about your eyelash. Like, come on. Honestly, like, I was very kind to AD during her season. I actually stalled her out on a really big story during her season. Like, I could have released some shit that I had on AD that I didn't even tell the story because of relevance. Yeah, because I was like relevant. I seen that she was, getting love and she was a fan favorite. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna let her have her moment. Like, I'm not even gonna do that. You know what I mean? I sold her out.
And that's the thing too. It's like, I think a lot of folks don't understand. People come to Ricky, people come to me. There were a lot of things. AD went on the Catfish Lady podcast when Clay's homeboys were online talking about that sugar daddy info.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all only knew, if only you knew, sister, there were receipts.
Yeah.
And we just didn't care because we were too focused on Clay and Chris Colleen and the treatment of Black women, period. We didn't care. I even said when I reviewed her podcast episode that she did with the Catfish Lady, I said, you know what? If she had a sugar daddy, so what?
Yeah.
So what? And I've seen people online, oh, Jessie was dragging AD. Show the clips. I don't ever see no clips. See, the thing is, when people really have ammunition towards me, they'll have clips. Y'all have never posted a clip.
Yeah.
I've never talked about that lady differently than I do any cast member who does Love is Blind.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
Like, you
I
have
don't
to
know
give honest
her.
Feedback. Like, and obviously, like, your feedback and your recaps are based on a character that's being portrayed on the show. Like, I don't know why it has to be so personal, or if that we have to grant immunity as Black creators. We have to grant immunity and not give our honest take because the call's coming from inside the house. Like, girl, okay, like, you leave out, gosh, like, your eyelashes suck, like, and you were on television acting stupid for Clay. Like, you still got a very positive edit, AD. You walked out of there a fan favorite, and now you have a podcast working for Connecticut Netflix. Like,
Anybody got any commentary?
That was the gist of everything they were saying. I just feel like I don't know what
I mean, there were no receipts. There
Yeah,
were
like-
no.
AD was more upset about Jesse's commentary than Ashley was. Like, why are you
Yeah.
about
What's
you?
the-
Why
That was
What's the issue?
That
like,
was
What is
interesting.
the problem?
And like I said, I felt like Jesse always bit up AD. I didn't understand that. The way I might have saw it, being in the YouTube space, is that people try to make people feel comfortable, and then they might divulge more information. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful.
I
You just
feel
gotta be
like
careful.
Jesse
know.
has always, until you give her a reason not to, I feel like Jesse has always loved up on the Black women from Love is Blind. Even that one season where she brought up all those other Black girls that we didn't get to see and had a whole thing with them. Like, you can't deny that. So if she's saying something that we're seeing on the show, or she's saying information that she's getting from Ricky, like, how can you be mad? And she went for the longest time trying to ride for Ashley. So I don't know why this is the hill that they want to die on, or what issue that AD has with her personally. But I was like, ooh, girl.
Yeah. And Jesse has to address certain things, because if she didn't, then we'd be like, Jesse, like, wait a minute. You're not going to acknowledge that everybody's been talking about that leave out? Like, you're just not going to act like
Right.
Like, you got to address certain things. Like, but I
Or
don't.
would it be like wrong road.
Especially when you need to be throwing shade, and it's like, oh, I don't know why they care so much about your business, and they're giving commentary about your show. People who don't
she
even
says that as she's hosting a podcast.
Right, you're hosting the podcast, talking about this. Really, I wouldn't even care about it if Jesse didn't come back and say something about it.
You're discussing the same thing, though, girl. Like, it's just you're just different perspective. It's the same content.
But I'm like, okay, if AD is going to be like this every time she has somebody on here, I don't care, because it's like, I don't like your hosting, I don't like your interviewing skills. Like, you don't do research. You're not. They just put her on there because she's popular. But then y'all complaining about people not being journalists, and they have degrees in journalism. And you don't have to be a journalist or anything to have common sense and know that you got to do some research before you bring somebody up for an interview.
Maybe
Exactly. And
she's
they
had
don't
the reality,
no
a lot of reality people on her podcast, like Love is Blind, a couple of other reality shows. And then I haven't watched it, but she had Raven Simone and her wife, and I was like, that's the odd one, because most of them are usually like Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, like those type of guests. So I was like, girl, how we get here?
Are trying to tap into the people that don't watch reality TV.
Yeah, I mean, even when I interview people from Ready to Love, I did research. Like, this is
but her name, her podcast is "What's the Reality?" So, like, isn't that what you're supposed
reality, right?
Doing?
Yeah, you don't want to make anybody upset. There's a way to do it and not like upset your guests. But, she's all at the end. Oh, we gotta hang out. I gotta come to DC. What is this? No. That's not what it's supposed to be.
That's her sister friend. They see each other.
You got a great edit. Like, what's the problem? Like, people like you.
Literally. Like, people literally are looking past your coonery. And while I say that, I'm gonna bring this up because I want to bring up your coonery, because I really take what you said personal. When you said, hold on, let me bring up what you had sent me. let me bring up what you had sent me because hold on.
I won't be tied in the house. Yes. Praying on the apple, you know, in the most cruel, disgusting a way I have ever seen people prey on someone. And it came from, again, inside the house. Yes, it did. And I don't want to say no one's name in particular, but there is a very loud presence on the internet that just, it was almost like she was just sitting there waiting, checking. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes. Checking daily, waiting. Yeah. I think that they kept hiding behind the fact that it was for the kids. It was for the kids.
We're gonna get Ashley later.
Okay, so I just want y'all to know why I put AD and Ashley blame black women. It's coming from inside your own house. The same way that sometimes these pick me black women want you to take their side and be biased. No, girl, when you're male centered, you're not actually on our side. You're on the man's side. So then
Exactly.
I feel like they do the same thing that the black men do. They like, you can't, take up for the woman. You can't, like, if something is wrong, you still gotta take the man's side. It's
attack on black women. Like, girl, please.
But we're sitting up here holding a woman accountable,
right? That
and we don't get no credit for that.
Yeah, we're ultimately saying we want better for you, and you're like,
yes.
y'all need to mind y'all business. Like, all right, well then stay in the trash then.
Let me be embarrassed in private or quietly, because it's not in private.
And that is
loud and just do it quietly.
That's crazy work. Like her talking about she done carried the culture on. But when she said that, that is exactly what that is, because majority, there are a select few who have learned and turned away from that.
Respectability politics.
But for the most part, people are socialized to act like that. That is the way they have been conditioned to act.
We still got ways to go. That's why Ashley was really selective with who she interviewed with, because she could have come with Jesse and said, let me clear my name.
Right.
I didn't know. No, she didn't want to come up there. She wanted to go with somebody who was like-minded, and that's why she sent up there with AD.
Very true. Okay. Or she was just manipulated because AD was trying to promote her show. That's what I thought.
Yeah, the Netflix producers probably called her and was like, we'll give you a safe space. Okay, well, them commenters, everybody in the comments, they remember.
Mm-hmm.
But Ashley is always willfully obtuse. So I just, she's always a willing participant, like, oh, me.
Yeah. And it's hard to feel sorry for a person like that. I'm sorry.
You can't, at a certain point, you can't be like, ignorance is bliss. I didn't know any better. Like, it's all in your face. You can't get away from this.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could tell on a reunion. That's why we were so annoyed and embarrassed and aggravated with you.
And who didn't hold her accountable? Nick and Vanessa. Oh, well, that's good. We love and all this stuff. Like, didn't ask hardly no questions. Everywhere she goes, nobody's held her feet to the fire. So when one podcast or one YouTube channel says, hey, finally, we got to hold you accountable. Now it's like, oh, I can't believe another black woman would say this. Like, what? Somebody should have been saying it.
Okay.
And her mom agreeing with her, like, girl, this is embarrassing.
Going out bad, girl. Going out bad.
I'm sorry. I feel like we've been saying that.
Ooh, they got Nita. Girl, you all right?
Girl. My microphone acting all stupid.
They got her. Ashley and AD got her.
But I just want to bring this up because how it's coming from inside the house, and I just never seen anything so disgusting and cruel in my life. Like, oh my god.
We were waiting on y'all was waiting on us to post because you knew we had the tea and the receipts. Like, we weren't waiting on y'all. Wasn't sending us shit. Y'all wasn't posting shit. Y'all was waiting on us. Y'all was checking our pages. Okay.
Literally. Okay. I want to bring this up. Hold on. Give me a moment. Hold on.
That's a good
Hold
point she
on.
bringing up, y'all.
Okay.
Can she show that Netflix scene? Well, she did.
Not the whole one.
One of the guys here that was like, there's no way this is going to happen. I'm definitely not going to fall in love with anybody. And then I meet that person over there.
Now, hold on. So I just want to take you guys back to something because I want to talk about raccoon behavior. And I want to talk about why AD's DEI podcast with Kinetic exists. Because instead of talking about issues like this, AD is in the house. The house where the call is coming from. She's in this house. All right. So hold on, child. Hold on. So I want to bring this back because, oh Lord, hold on. How do I add this back, child? What's going on? I want to bring back this. I want to bring back this clip. So remember, during her season, after everybody got proposed to, and I guess like everyone was on their honeymoons at the time. I'm trying to get it to where we're both on the screen. Why is it not letting me do that? Okay, there it is. When they got to their honeymoon, and you know, there was this exchange that happened between her and this woman here. Do you remember her name?
Laura?
I think
Laura.
Was it Laura?
I think it was Laura.
I don't remember her name. Maybe it's Laura. But anyway, so Laura had this thing.
Lauren.
Laura. Okay. So Lauren had this thing that she did to AD, I guess off camera, or maybe she did it on camera, but they didn't show it. And it was called bean dipping.
Gorgeous girl.
She is gorgeous. She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's taught me about.
So now you have Jeremy, who was her fiance at the time. Okay.
Right.
Miss Leavout is sitting here with Clay.
Yes.
Here is Lauren's fiance. And I want y'all to hear what he tells her.
Was it bean dip?
Yeah, bean
She
dip.
told me you would know what that means.
Bean dip?
Not the bean dip.
And Laura is signaling him to do it to her. Let's talk about cruel. Let's talk about disgusting. Let's talk about that. This is a white woman sending her white fiance, a white man, to come to you. And even Clay is sitting there like
what? Yeah, like why is that? How is that? Where would that be on me? Like,
why does this white man think he can come over here and say this to you?
yeah.
But if you watch that entire scene, the cast was literally passing AD, like in that entire scene. I'm not gonna, I reviewed this, but if you watch that scene, it's a whole bunch of white people talking about AD's ass, passing her around, sexualizing her, and she loved it. She basked in it, like she was basking in it.
Yeah.
Oh, the glory that was. That she saw no cruelty in that, no disgustingness in that.
Yeah.
I said Judy, she will walk in, she will literally die.
She told me to do it to you, and I was like, I'm gonna get fucking canceled.
She told me to do it to you.
I'm gonna get canceled. Like,
So I want to show y'all something else. What's AD's EDI podcast? I found it. Never mind.
Oh yeah, what's the reality? And apparently she had Laura on her podcast.
Yes, we did. You see where I'm going. You see where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm going. Because you know I'm a journalist. Fuck what Miss Leavout said and fuck what Miss Big Bird said. Bitch, I'm a journalist. Like I'm actually a journalist, for real, for real. And one thing about it is I remembered seeing a clip where she had Laura, or Lauren, is it Lauren? Whatever, on her podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Laura.
Laura, right, whatever. Now, apparently, because this is Netflix affiliated, they be doing copyrights or whatever. Listen, I ain't got time. But what I'm gonna do is I am going to click on the transcript. So when you click on a transcript, guys, you can see every word that's mentioned. YouTube has that AI where you can see every word that's mentioned. So I'm going to look up bean dip. Zero mention. Zero mention. I was pushing out information. Ricky was pushing out information. We had Simone Redwine pushing out information. And honestly, this was bigger than Ashley. Like, I know, Ashley, you're very arrogant. You're very self-centered. And you think this is all about you. it's actually not all about you. This is about the same Black women who now you're trying to pander to while also gaslighting. This is about future Black women who are going to go on this show for them to understand what this show is doing.
Right.
This man said, let me go down. He said, hold on. I'm trying to see what the vetting process is. Well, a couple things. One is we have a very rigid vetting process. This is what he said after they asked him. Tyler choosing not to disclose that he has children until late in the season has brought up questions about the vetting process. What can you share about vetting participants on Love is Blind? Right. This was his response. We have background checks and psychological evaluations. Everyone in the world has a story. We aren't the police. And even you, Big Bird, when you went on the VAW Files, which is titled very accurately, you yourself said that there was a moment where you felt production already knew.
Yeah. Well, she backtracked on that in AD's podcast. She backtracked on it.
Well, she did.
Yeah, she did. So they did. AD did ask her. One question that she did ask her was, let me go to chapter 2 of my notes so I can get a direct quote. She did ask her, like, how do you think that Tyler was able to get, like, how he was able to finesse and get through casting? Like, she was like, you know, the rigid process that we go through. Like, how do you think this slipped through the cracks? And now she's claiming that production didn't know a thing, that production would often praise Tyler. She said that production would praise Tyler.
No way.
And that they would cry and thank him for his service of fucking, like his sperm donor service. And she said that she thinks that casting didn't know anything more than that he had sperm babies because the pictures and everything must have been scrubbed before the casting process. But we know that that's not true because Bri said she noticed the pictures go missing after the vacation.
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? What a bird.
Yeah.
The biggest bird.
Yeah.
The biggest bird. Imagine knowing that these people knew and now you're lying for these same.
You good, Nita? She on mute.
I thought that was me. I was like, my sound. First it kicked me out my sound. I don't know what happened.
Let's see. Maybe she got something going on with the sound.
I didn't see her in the chat.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. Hold on.
Send us a bad signal.
I know. I didn't.
No, I'm saying Nita.
I know. I was like, I didn't even see all that. She went to the bathroom. Well, anyway, with all that stuff going on,
exactly.
I don't think we need to hear anymore because we already know. At the end of the day,
the day gonna end.
They're getting to work now, so it's like, all right. Well, I'm glad you learned. And you didn't say it too long, Ashley. Better late than never. At least she did make a point. Like, okay, well, at least I've been saying it for 20 years. I think the shame and the embarrassment, like Jesse said, is the only reason why. Otherwise, she just may have stayed in it for years, had kids, and did the whole thing.
Yep. 110%.
She
opened her big mouth and she put her foot in there and we let her have it. And so I don't know why now would be the time that she picked. That's why I'm like, I don't think it's coincidental that it's like lined up when she can actually file for a divorce or put the paperwork or whatever it is in specific, because I guess you got to wait a certain time frame. But
even with
other than that, why now?
Yeah, because I was gonna say, because I mean, if people don't know or need it or care, I would have been said, look, it's done, over and done with. Don't care, whatever. But I'm glad it kind of ended.
Yeah, I
don't think we need.
I just think this just didn't do her any favors. Like, I don't think it hit the way she thought it was gonna hit. Now, her and she might have a friend with AD. And I'm sure that, she's not alone. There are many other Ashleys out in this world. So I'm sure somebody's on her side. But, the majority of the people that are speaking loudly you know, we're not.
I think everyone has been in Ashley to an extent, like maybe not, this bad,
Yeah,
but we've all made bad
exactly.
decisions or not one. But it's like the way she's handling it. Like I think Lisa said earlier in the chat, it's like, look, you still got to take some accountability at the end of the day. Like at some point, it's like
Right.
okay, you got to know when to say when. Like now, she don't got to. She doesn't owe us, anything. But at least the kid, she could have been like, you know what, I was wrong for that.
Baby, listen. Okay.
But I mean, we don't
Listen.
need anymore. I feel like once the season is done, then let it be
Finally,
done.
y'all have been reunited, and it feels so good. It was a mirror. It's like, it's me.
It's
Literally.
me. Yeah. Okay. So another important part. Ashley said.
Sorry, y'all. Did y'all have some commentary on it?
Yeah, we was talking about it while you was gone. We thought they had got you again, girl.
Yeah, we were. So we don't need to hear anymore. We got the gist, but yeah, we spoke on it. I mean, it's over now.
You said that it didn't do what you thought it was going to do.
No, I heard was it still playing or no?
It stopped eventually. Like it played for a while and then it just stopped. But it's fine.
Right.
It felt like it played.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they didn't say anything. They weren't even saying anything new because they're just touching on what they said. And all of this we've all heard before.
Right.
Yeah.
We heard it. And it is what it is. But yeah, y'all. Any closing thoughts? Like I don't know if we're gonna get through this, but
we done. Like I said, I don't think it did what Ashley thought it was gonna do. I was saying that, there's a lot of Ashleys out there, just the people that have come. Shayna said we all done been Ashley to a certain extent, which we have, but the non-Ashleys and the reform Ashleys is not trying to hear her BS. So, she got a friend in AD, but I don't think that this did what she thought it was gonna do. And go off,
yeah,
sis.
it's so sad. I hate to see her go out like that because she's a beautiful girl, and I feel like she could have made so much more of this experience with her.
That's what happens when you try to be the smartest person in the room. Like sometimes you just got to take the L and just be humble.
She should have kept quiet at a certain point. Like we were forgetting about her. She was off of our radar, and now she's back on it again for all the wrong reasons. So
yeah, absolutely. So hey, Lisa, Debbie, Inga was in the chat. Brandy, Lisa, it was a lot of people in the chat. I appreciate y'all coming through tonight.
Yes.
I appreciate you, DeMarcus, everybody, and yeah. Do y'all want to talk about what y'all got going on y'all channels? I'm gonna start with you, Shayna. Oh, wait, I gotta kick something out. Hold on. Still no.
Yeah, I did. Let me look and see.
Yeah, sure.
We did Real Housewives of Atlanta panel last night. I've been doing everything on my main channel this week. So we did that. The Never Ever Mets panel earlier this week with Mo 69, we did with EJ and them, Candy, everybody. And then I did a Basketball Wives review. That one's not doing too well. So if the views don't get up on that, Basketball
Come on, y'all.
I was only watching it anyway to see Jackie and her daughter get into that fisticuffs. So if I don't see no tussle, then I'm fine.
He said, I'll be back for the tussle. Okay.
I could just watch that and
I'm gonna get it on the clips.
Yeah, I'm like, look, if y'all ain't watching it, I'm not reviewing it. But Real Housewives of Atlanta did a pre-recorded for that. The Never Ever Mets, some hot topics, and the Never Ever Mets comes on again tomorrow night. So I'll be doing a pre-recorded for that again. And keep your post notifications on. Check the community.
Okay. Great. Miss Kara, what you got?
Life been kicking my behind. So we did the Never Ever Mets. We did Roja in this, and I'm going to try to get up forever and just keep your notifications on, y'all.
That's the best part.
That's the best I can tell you. Your girl be back.
That's the only thing
I can Memorial Day weekend too.
Right. That's all I can tell you too. Keep your notifications on. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Comment down in the comments. Get all the engagement. Get us in the algorithm. Okay. all the things. Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and we'll talk to you later next time.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.